Hello and welcome to a new video. I thought since we are getting towards the end of the year, I would start talking about some end of the year reading goals that I have. So overall, I'd love to make my Goodreads goal. My Goodreads goal is 100 books at the time of filming this. So I'm filming this at the end of August. And I'm at 63 books, so I think I will be able to do it. But there are a couple books that I would really love to get to this year, and at the time I'm filming this, I'm very much feeling in a reading mood. I'm hoping there's no slumps in my future, we will see. But I tend to like reading in the winter more, just because it's like comfy and cozy and fun. So I pulled 8 books that are towards the top of my TBR that I would like to get to before the end of the year. So let's go ahead and jump into those. So first, you'd think this is more of a summer read, but I want to read The Bodyguard by Katherine Center. I've just heard really good things about this book. I've specifically seen Haley Pham talk about it a lot on her channel, and frankly, it's a really short book. This is one that could maybe be read in one sitting. Not that I read books in one sitting very often, but potentially it could be, because it's 300 pages, just 300. Oh, that's part of the cover. I thought they had got a cut on it. Anyway, this is a closed door adult romance that I've heard just really good things about. She is his bodyguard. I don't remember if he's an actor or a singer or whoever he is, but she is his bodyguard, and they go to his home in Texas, and she has to go with him. And I just think it sounds really fun. And I think I've said in the past, oh, I don't like celebrity romances, it's just not a trope that I enjoy, but I've read multiple this year that I'm I think I actually like that trope. So I'm looking forward to trying this one out. This is a book that's actually next on my TBR, and that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is another adult romance, another one that you would think maybe is a little more summery, but I still want to get to it before the end of the year. And this book is going to be my September pick for the book club that I started on Instagram. Hello, I started a book club. I think not too long ago I had put in actually it was probably a couple years ago, that I'm not a book club person, it's too much pressure, I'm not going to do it. But this year I've just found so much joy in reading books together and talking about them, and so I started my own book club, and it's a very low stakes, no pressure. If you don't want to read this book, don't read it. Pick up next month. If you want to read it all in one day, do it that way. If you want to spread it out over the entire month, do it that way. It's very chill. So this is a sapphic romance that I'm very excited to get into. It's kind of an enemies to lovers thing. I actually read the first chapter already, but it is about a girl who goes back to her hometown to be the photographer for her her stepsister's wedding. And so she doesn't really want to do that. She does not get along with her family, but they're going to be paying a lot of money. So she goes back, and she ends up falling for one of the bridesmaids, I believe. So I'm very excited to get into this. Next is a series. There's a couple on here of series that I'd like to read the next book in. One of those being the Illuminae Files. So this is book 2. I guess I don't own book 3. I thought I did. Or maybe I do and I just lost it. But this is an intimidating book in the fact that it is so long. It's 700 pages, 620 pages. But I loved the first one so much, and because of the mixed media setting, it actually goes by so quickly. And so one, that makes me feel really accomplished, because I'm look at me, I just read a 600-page book. But also the story is just so good, and I don't know how they haven't made these into movies yet. The sci-fi suspense is so well written, and I very much want to see where this story is going. I would need a little bit of a refresher on the first one. I read the first one last year, I believe, last winter, if I'm remembering right. So I would need a little bit of a refresher on what happened. I remembered the 2 different ships and what happened on those and why they were there, but I don't remember all the little details. But I'm very excited, and it almost sounds like this is going to be following slightly different characters, because it's on the back is mentioning a character named Hannah rather than Katie, and I thought the last one followed Katie. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of thinking this is following different characters, and then maybe in the third one they all come together. I'd have to look into it, but either way, I am very excited to get into this, and I just want to actually read what it just said about Marie Lu. Did she? Oh, Marie Lu illustrated it? How funny is that? That's so cool. Are we talking about Marie Lu, the author? That's kind of cool, like these illustrations, she did those. I did not know that. How exciting. Anyway, I want to get to that series. Another series I'd like to continue, and this is also like on my immediate TBR, is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. So this is the fourth and final book. I believe there are novellas. This book is so long, 662 pages, my god. But this is the next installment in the Red Queen series. I have been reading that with another book club this year. This is just the year of the book clubs. And while this series reads much slower than a lot of other fantasy series, they are characters that I really enjoy. I'm terrified for this book. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't trust anyone, and I don't even trust the main characters to make the right decisions. I don't know. It's gonna be a hot mess. You probably know what Red Queen is about. There are people born with silver blood, they have magical abilities. There are people born with red blood, they are kind of like the lower caste in this society, and they are used for labor and lots of other stuff. So there is right now an all-out war between people who think silver should remain in power and people who think that should not be the case. So there is lots of drama, lots of political intrigue. Mare is a really, really interesting main character because she is so flawed. And I love her, but like she has had to go on a really difficult journey, and there have been a lot of instances where she does not make the right choice and she has to learn from that, which makes for really interesting storytelling, but also at times really frustrating storytelling. So it's been fun, and I really, really love Cal. He is a great character as well, and I just dropped the book, but overall I'm really excited to get into the end of this series, and I can say I actually read a series this year. So but yeah, I'm just sure it'll emotionally destroy me. So next, a middle grade, because I haven't read any middle grade this year, The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. I thought this would just be a fun little like Halloween-y time read. It is about a boy who I think is like haunted by a ghost, or no, a demon, and so he's got to figure that out somehow. I'm not really sure what the whole rest of the story is. This book is signed, in case you're wondering. But yeah, I love Alexandra Bracken's writing, so I have no doubt that I will also really enjoy this book. And I just haven't read any middle grade this year, I don't think, so I think it would be fun to kind of dive into this. It just seems like a really cozy, fun read. And I have the sequel as well. I think there's only 2 of them, I'm not sure. But I have the second one. So I actually have 2 copies of the second one because I bought it. And then a couple months later, I was like, oh, I bought the first one and got it signed. I should get the second one. I had already bought the second one and got it signed. So now I have like an extra copy. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, I am very excited to get into this. I think it'll be lots of fun. Next, another series that I would like to continue on in is The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read The Inheritance Games last year, and I would really like to keep going in this series. And I believe her spin-off book, I don't know if it's like a 4th book or like a prequel, whatever it is, another book in this universe actually just came out this week. And like I said, I read this last year, so I don't remember really anything that happens in the Inheritance Games, but I remember really, really loving it, so I would like to finish the other 2 books in this series. I would have to like maybe watch a review or something of the first one to kind of click back in as to what the heck happened. I remember, so the main character gets called to this giant mansion, this famous house of this super rich family, because she has been named as The Inheritance from the Dead Grandpa. So it's very much giving Knives Out, which I said a lot when I was reviewing the Inheritance game. I didn't really like Knives Out, but I loved the Inheritance games. So I'd very much like to continue on in this series and see where it goes from there. There was a very fun love triangle situation. I don't actually remember who I was rooting for, but I will read on and see what happens. Next, a very autumn, like fall, spooky type of book, Belladonna by Adalyn Grace. I have been wanting to read this for so long. I actually got this book last Christmas and I still haven't read it, but I do really want to read it. And this one also just came out with a sequel, I believe, this week or not too long ago. And this, I've showed it before, but I'm showing it again, is just the most beautiful book on my shelf that I own. Like, the end papers are gorgeous, all of the like pages are so pretty, and the cover is just, it's literally the best book, most beautiful book I own on my shelves. So I am 100% sure, and look, the end papers on this side have art of them. Anyway, I'm 100% sure that I will love this book. I just, for some reason, haven't read it yet, so I really want to get to this very soon. I'm kind of thinking this might end up being a book club pick. I'm not sure yet. But this is about a girl who ends up having to work and I believe falls in love with death. Which sounds fantastic if you ask me. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. It's very much giving like Kingdom of the Wicked vibes if you ask me, and like, I don't know, it just sounds so cool. It sounds so fun. I know it's something I'm going to love. I haven't read anything by Adalyn Grace yet, but this book has rave reviews. When she was marketing this book, she marketed it a lot as like Wednesday Addams type of vibes meets like fantasy romance. So you sold me, and I cannot wait to read this. The last book on my list that I will hopefully get to before the year ends, who knows, is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which my nails actually match this book right now. This is another one that I got last Christmas and I still haven't read it, sorry. But I do really want to read this fall because I think this is another one that just has like autumnal vibes. This is a book that so many people have recommended to me, and it has like insanely rave reviews. Everybody loves it, and I just haven't read it yet, but I do really want to read it. So this is one I'm very excited to get into. I honestly don't know a whole lot about it. The only thing I know is my friends said you've got to get through like the prologue chapters, which is like the first 50 pages, and those are really boring, but then you can then you get into the story and it gets good. And I know it's about like a famous actress, and I think she's telling a reporter like all these stories, but that's kind of all I know. And I am going to guess that she has 7 husbands. That's all I know. But I'm really excited to read it because everyone says it's so good. I've like hardly ever seen bad reviews of this book, so I'm excited to give it a try. I've never actually read anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I know she's very popular, so I'd like to give it a try and see how I like it. So those are the books that I will hopefully, maybe, possibly get to before the end of the year. I've said it before in the past, I'm not a big TBR person. I just kind of go with the flow. I read what I want to read. But these are ones that I'd like to get to some of these. And like Warstorm and Delilah Green Doesn't Care, I know I will read before the end of the year. As for the rest of them, we'll see what happens. These are just ones that I feel like reading right now, and I could see myself like wanting to read them in the next couple of months. So that is my little TBR for the rest of the year. As for what else I'll be reading, who knows? I just pick things randomly. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you want to read before the end of the year. I upload booktube and other content. I'm hoping for a Disney trip before the end of the year as well, so keep an eye out for that. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!